Hey everyone, welcome to this short video on how I frame my finished projects. So the first thing is to pick out the right frame for your project. I prefer a frame to be the exact size of the image that I'm working with. This, in my experience, prevents the drills from sliding once the image is hung on the wall. I also prefer frames that don't have anti-reflective surfaces. As you can see here, I have placed one over half the image, and in my opinion, it just takes away from the shimmer and shine of the diamond painting that I feel is the whole point of a diamond painting. And that's how I choose my frames, and this is how I frame my images. What you will need for this, of course, is a frame, a pair of scissors, a pair of tweezers, lights, and double-sided adhesive. Let's get started. I always start out by cutting off the edges. The parts that I cut off do have some glue on it, so I just fold it up real carefully so that the glue doesn't get stuck to my table. That's just a little tip. I always cut on the right side because I am a righty, and this way I get to cut as close as possible to the image itself. When you cut port glue canvases, every now and again the glue might get stuck on the blades of your scissors. If this happens to you, just take a baby wipe and clean off the blades. If you are working with a double-sided adhesive canvas, you can actually remove this extra tape by cutting it off with an X-Acto knife before you start cutting off the edges. Once I'm done with cutting off the edges, I lay the image flat on the table. I then go over it with lights and tweezers, carefully removing any hairs or dirt that might be in the image. Once any hair or dust has been removed, I get out my frame and I start by taking off the backing. I carefully place the backing on the table and I pay close attention to which side of the backing is up because I will be needing that for later. I then take my double-sided adhesive and start placing it on the backing. I tend to use quite a lot of tape for this step, especially for large, heavy paintings to prevent them from sliding down once they are hung on the wall. I then place the painting upside down on the backing. And as you can see, this painting do have a few rivers. This is not caused by the manufacturer. These are caused by me. I simply rolled the image too tight, and in this case where the plastic is very thick, it can actually cause these rivers. So to straighten these out, all I do is I place some tape all over the rivers to make sure that these are stuck down to the backing. I then place the image on the backing and adjust it so that it is straight everywhere, flattening it out and making sure that it is carefully aligned with the edge everywhere. And that the right side is up because you really don't want to stick it down upside down. I then fold one edge back and start peeling off the back of the tape. Once all the tape is exposed, I carefully fold the piece back and make sure that I press down all the way around so that the painting is securely attached to the backing. I then fold the other half back and start by removing the tape, but this time about 2/3 of the way. Once again, I fold the painting over the exposed tape, and then I peel off the last of the backing, exposing the rest of the tape. I then fold over the last half that is now carefully placed on the backing, straightly aligned with every edge. I then put the backing back in the frame, and here is the finished result. What do you think? If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more content like this, please support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!